David Montgomery, nicknamed Knuckles, born June 7, 1997, is an American professional football running back for the Houston Texans of the National Football League, NFL. He played college football for the Iowa State Cyclones and was selected by the Chicago Bears in the third round of the 2019 NFL Draft. Montgomery played his first 4 years as Chicago's primary running back. After signing with Detroit, he became part of an effective rushing tandem with fellow tailback Jahmyr Gibbs. He got traded to the Texans after the 2025-26 National Football League season. He will be the RB1 alongside of Joe Mixon and Nick Chubb. Early life, Montgomery grew up in the Cincinnati, Ohio area. He is an Eagle Scout. During high school, he was a standout prep dual-threat quarterback. Over his 4-year high school career, he rushed for 6,666 yards and 91 touchdowns. In 2015, he was named the Division III Ohio Player of the Year, as well as the Southwest District Offensive Player of the Year. His senior season rushing total of 2,707 was good enough for the 21st best single-season performance in Ohio high school history. He posted 7 200-yard games and 3 300-yard games, including one 373-yard performance. Recruiting. Despite a record-breaking high school career, Montgomery was lightly recruited to continue his football career in college. He was recruited by Miami OH, Ball State, Buffalo, and Iowa State. He eventually committed to the Cyclones. College career. 2016 season. As a true freshman in 2016, Montgomery played in all 12 games and started the final 4 contests. He led the team in rushing with 563 yards, averaging 5.2 yards per carry. This was good enough to be the second-best freshman performance in school history. In his second career start, he rushed 169 yards on 24 carries to defeat Kansas. He was named Big 12 Conference Newcomer of the Week for that performance. He finished the season with 141 yards rushing and 45 yards receiving against West Virginia. At the conclusion of the season, Montgomery was named to the Honorable Mention Freshman All-American team by Campus Insiders. 2017 season, Montgomery's breakout season was in 2017. He led the Cyclones in rushing yards and yards from scrimmage with 1,095 and 1,383 respectively. He finished second in the Big 12 in rushing yards and touchdowns behind only Justice Hill. Montgomery led the nation in forced missed tackles with 104, breaking the previous record of 89 set by Dalvin Cook. Against Iowa, he ran for 113 yards, rushed for a touchdown, and had 53 yards on receptions. In an upset win at number 3 Oklahoma, Montgomery ran for 55 yards and a touchdown and caught 7 passes for 89 yards. He had a career day against Texas Tech, rushing for 164 yards on 28 attempts, averaging 5.9 yards per play. Montgomery had a third straight 100-yard performance against West Virginia, Oklahoma State, and Baylor, with 115, 105, and 144 yards respectively, including 3 touchdowns against the Cowboys. Montgomery received multiple accolades at the end of the regular season. He was named a first-team All-American by Pro Football Focus as well as Consensus First-Team All-Big 12. 2018 season, Montgomery started the season slow, but had a string of 4 straight 100-yard games with 5 touchdowns from mid-September to mid-October, and ended the season with another string of 3 straight 100-yard games with 6 touchdowns, including 179 yards from scrimmage in the 2018 Alamo Bowl loss to Washington State. Montgomery finished the 2018 season with 1,216 rushing yards, second in the Big 12 to Alex Barnes, and 13 rushing touchdowns, second to Sam Ehlinger. Professional career, pre-draft. On January 7, 2019, Montgomery announced that he would forego his final season of eligibility and declare for the 2019 NFL Draft. ESPN2 dubbed Montgomery the Frankenstein of running backs for possessing similar physical traits of different NFL running backs, including the footwork of Saquon Barkley, the field vision of Le'Veon Bell, the strength of Ezekiel Elliott, and the athleticism of Sony Michel. Chicago Bears 2019 season, Montgomery with the Chicago Bears in 2019. The Chicago Bears drafted Montgomery in the 3rd round with the 73rd overall pick in the draft. Montgomery signed a 4-year rookie contract with the team on June 14th. Montgomery made his NFL debut with the Bears in Week 1 against the Green Bay Packers. In that game, Montgomery rushed for 18 yards on 6 attempts and caught 1 pass for 27 yards as the Bears lost 10-3. In Week 2 against the Denver Broncos, Montgomery rushed 18 times for 62 yards and his first career NFL touchdown as the Bears won 16-14. After 11 carries for 25 yards in Week 6 and 2 rushes for 6 yards and a fumble in Week 7 against the New Orleans Saints, Montgomery responded in Week 8 against the Los Angeles Chargers with 27 rushes for an NFL second-best 135 yards and a touchdown in the 17-16 loss. In Week 9 against the Philadelphia Eagles, Montgomery rushed 14 times for 40 yards and 2 touchdowns in the 22-14 loss. This was Montgomery's first game with multiple rushing touchdowns of his career. In Week 17 against the Minnesota Vikings, Montgomery rushed 23 times for 113 yards and a touchdown during the 21-19 win. Overall, Montgomery finished his rookie season with 889 rushing yards and 6 rushing touchdowns to go along with 25 receptions for 185 receiving yards and 1 receiving touchdown. 2020 season, Montgomery remained the team's featured running back heading into the 2020 season. Before the regular season began, head coach Matt Nagy emphasized the offense would prioritize establishing a run game. He opened the season with 64 rushing yards on 13 attempts en route to a 27-23 comeback win against the Detroit Lions. In Week 2 against the New York Giants, Montgomery rushed 16 times for 82 yards and caught 3 passes for 45 yards and his first receiving touchdown of the season during the 17-13 win. Montgomery suffered a concussion during the Bears' Week 9 loss to the Tennessee Titans. He subsequently missed the team's Week 10 contest while recovering. The Bears' rushing attack ranked last in the NFL with 82.3 yards per game at this point in the season. Nagy handed over play-calling responsibilities to offensive coordinator Bill Lazor. Montgomery returned for the Bears' Week 12 matchup against the Packers on Sunday Night Football, where he totaled 143 yards from scrimmage and recorded a receiving touchdown in a 41-25 loss. In his second game back from the concussion, Montgomery rushed for 72 yards with 2 rushing touchdowns during a 34-30 loss against the Detroit Lions. In Week 14 against the Houston Texans, he amassed 113 rushing yards, including an 80-yard touchdown run on the first play of the Bears' opening offensive possession. The score was the 4th longest run in Bears history and the team's first opening play touchdown since 1995. Montgomery finished the game with 155 yards from scrimmage in a 36-7 victory over the Texans. During the Bears' 33-27 Week 15 victory over the Vikings, Montgomery rushed for a career-high 146 yards with 2 touchdowns on 32 carries. The following week, against the Jacksonville Jaguars, he ran for 95 yards and a touchdown during the 41-17 win as he surpassed 1,000 rushing yards for the season, becoming the first Bears running back to do so since Jordan Howard in 2017. In Week 17 against the Green Bay Packers, Montgomery recorded 132 yards from scrimmage and a rushing touchdown during the 35-16 loss. Montgomery finished the 2020 regular season with 247 rushes for 1,070 yards and 8 touchdowns. His 1,070 rushing yards ranked 5th in the NFL. He also caught 54 passes for 438 yards and 2 touchdowns. 2021 season, Montgomery recorded 309 rushing yards on 69 carries with 3 rushing touchdowns through first 4 games of the 2021 NFL season. He suffered a knee sprain in Week 4 against the Detroit Lions and was placed on injured reserve on October 9, 2021, and was expected to miss 4 to 5 weeks. He had the 5th most rushing yards in the league until his injury. He was activated on November 8 for the team's Week 9 game. In Week 17, against the Giants, he had 2 rushing touchdowns in the 29-3 victory. He finished the 2021 season with 225 carries for 849 rushing yards and 7 rushing touchdowns, to go along with 42 receptions for 301 receiving yards. He was ranked 98th by his fellow players on the NFL Top 100 Players of 2022. 2022 season, in Week 2 against the Packers, Montgomery had 15 carries for 122 rushing yards in the 27-10 loss. In Week 10 against the Atlanta Falcons, he had 121 combined yards, 67 rushing, 54 receiving, and 1 rushing touchdown, the 27-24 loss. He finished the 2022 season with 201 carries for 801 rushing yards and 5 rushing touchdowns, to go along with 34 receptions for 316 receiving yards and 1 receiving touchdown. Detroit Lions 2023 season. On March 16, 2023, Montgomery signed a 3-year, $18 million contract with the Lions. He started as the RB1 at the start of the season before a rib injury in Week 6. In a Week 4 victory over the Packers, he had 32 carries for 121 yards and 3 touchdowns. He then came back 2 weeks later, sharing the backfield with rookie Jahmyr Gibbs. This duo would become one of the most successful duos in the NFL, as they became the first pair of players in NFL history to combine for 1,000 yards from scrimmage and 10 touchdowns each. He finished the season with 219 carries for 1,015 rushing yards and 13 rushing touchdowns, to go with 16 receptions for 117 receiving yards in 14 games and starts. He scored a touchdown in 11 different games. Montgomery and the Lions would go to the NFC Championship, where they lost to the 49ers 34-31. Montgomery had 113 scrimmage yards and a rushing touchdown in the loss. 2024 season, in Week 4 against the Seattle Seahawks, Montgomery achieved his 7th straight game with a rushing touchdown, tying Billy Sims' record for the most consecutive games with a rushing touchdown in Lions franchise history. On October 12th, with 2 years left on his current contract, Montgomery signed a 2-year extension worth $18.25 million, with $10.5 million in new guaranteed money that will keep him in Detroit through the 2027 season. In Week 15's matchup against the Buffalo Bills, Montgomery suffered a medial collateral ligament injury, which was initially believed to require a season-ending surgery. However, Montgomery sought additional medical opinions and returned for the divisional round of the playoffs. Montgomery totaled 775 rushing yards and 12 touchdowns on 185 carries and 341 receiving yards on 36 catches in 14 games. 2025 season. In Week 3 of the 2025 season against the Ravens, Montgomery had 12 carries for 151 yards and 2 touchdowns in the 38-30 win. He finished the 2025 season with 158 carries for 716 rushing yards and 8 rushing touchdowns, to go with 24 receptions for 192 receiving yards. Player profile. Nickname. In Montgomery's first season with the Lions, he teamed up with fellow running back Jahmyr Gibbs to form a tandem Lions head coach Dan Campbell described as a two-headed monster. In 2024, the pair were given the nicknames Sonic and Knuckles, inspired by characters from the Sonic the Hedgehog video game series, with Gibbs dubbed Sonic for his speed and Montgomery as Knuckles for his strength. Personal life. Montgomery had a difficult childhood. He does not know his father, and his mother moved the family numerous times around Cincinnati due to economic hardship. He remembers using the oven for heat and boiling water collected from gas stations in the bathtub when either was disconnected. He has a brother who was incarcerated for drug trafficking and murder. After scoring a touchdown, Montgomery frequently holds up a V sign in memory of a high school teammate and role model who was murdered during a home invasion. During high school, he achieved the rank of Eagle Scout in the Boy Scouts of America as part of Troop 772 in Cincinnati, Ohio. He is currently an official Scouting America ambassador. While he was with Iowa State, Montgomery was chosen as a semifinalist for the Jason Witten Collegiate Man of the Year Award for his efforts in befriending Hunter Erb, a 6-year-old who was born with multiple congenital heart defects, and orchestrating a team visit to Marshalltown, Iowa, to help clean up after a tornado. Montgomery began following a vegan diet during the 2020 season. After the Lions' Thanksgiving win in 2024, he drew media attention for eating a carrot while his teammates ate CBS celebratory turkey. Montgomery and his girlfriend had their first child, a boy, delivered on January 13, 2023. On October 7, 2025, Montgomery was awarded the North Star Award, which is the highest award given to a person not currently enrolled in Scouting for his service to Scouting. The event was held in Auburn Hills, Michigan, and was awarded by Michigan Crossroads Council Chief Development Officer Denver Labs.